Here's a history hot tip for you. In 1324, Mansa Musa, the king of the Mali Empire, sat on a carved wooden throne in his capital city of Niani. He was wearing a golden robe and crown, and his advisors and courtiers were gathered around him in a bustling medieval West African city. In the background, you can see mosques, scholars, markets, and camels loaded with gold for distant trade. It was during Mansa's reign that the empire reached its peak. He was a devout Muslim who expanded the empire's territory and wealth through trade and conquest. His empire spanned from the Atlantic Ocean to the heart of Africa. This is a rare glimpse into the life of a medieval African ruler. And it's all here in this one frame. The detail is absolutely incredible. If you like this, you'll love our full video on the Mali Empire, so be sure to stay tuned for more. Who is the richest man in history? Meet Mansa Musa. In 1324, Mansa Musa, the 10th ruler of the Mali Empire, sits on a throne in his capital city of Niani. Behind him is a wall adorned with intricate patterns and the golden sun symbol of the empire. He wears a golden robe and a golden crown. To his right sits an old advisor with a white beard, while to his left stands a young courtier holding a fly whisk to keep the pesky flies away. In front of them are piles of gold, so much gold that it would make King Solomon jealous. It's a hot day in Niani, the capital of the Mali Empire in medieval West Africa. The year is 1324 and the sun beats down on the bustling city. Pedestrians hurry along the streets lined with mud brick houses and thatched huts. In the distance, the minarets of mosques pierce the sky. Scholars in flowing robes discuss theology under the shade of trees. Merchants hawk their wares in the marketplace, while others carefully weigh gold for trade. Camels loaded with gold bars wait patiently outside the city walls, ready to be taken to distant trading posts. The Mali Empire was known for its wealth, and Mansa Musa, the 10th ruler of the empire, was considered the richest man in history. His wealth adjusted for inflation would be way over 400 billion. Musa's empire stretched from the Atlantic Ocean to the mountains of the Atlas and from the Sahara Desert to the forests of the Congo. His empire was a melting pot of cultures and religions, and he was known for his tolerance and his love of learning. Despite his many accomplishments, Mansa Musa is often overlooked in history books. Most people don't know that he was the richest man that ever lived. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more historical tales. Also check out our other videos about ancient Africa. We have a series of videos showcasing the Great Zimbabwe and the Kingdom of Kush. Thank you for watching. The year is 1324 and this is the richest man in history. Welcome to my channel. The sun is setting over the West African city of Niani, also known as the Empire of Mali. From a distance, it looks like a sea of red huts, but up close, it's a bustling medieval metropolis with over 60,000 people crowded into the capital. In the center is the palace complex of the Mansa, the emperor. And today is a good day because it is market day. The streets are full of merchants from all over the known world, from North Africa to the Middle East and even Europe. They've come to buy gold, lots and lots of gold. In fact, that's why they've all come to this one spot in particular, to meet with Mansa Musa, who is arguably the richest man in history. He sits on a grand throne carved from a single piece of wood, a throne fit for an emperor. Behind him is a wall of gold, guarded by elite soldiers. To his right is his half-brother and rival, the warlord, and to his left is a vizier, or royal advisor. In front of them is a low table made of ivory inlaid with gold and precious gems. On it are piles of gold, so much gold. It would take a team of elephants to carry it all. And Mansa Musa, he wears a golden robe that shimmers like the sun and a golden crown that reaches the heavens. But despite all the gold, despite being the richest man in history, according to some estimates, worth over 400 billion in today's money, Mansa Musa isn't even the one who owns all this gold. He's just the guy who sits on it. You see, the gold really belongs to his empire, the Empire of Mali. It stretches from the Atlantic coast all the way to the mountains of the Middle East, over 4,000 miles. Within its borders are countless gold mines and the loyalty of dozens of tribes and kingdoms. All of them bring their gold here to Niani, to Mansa Musa. But why? Well, Because Mansa Musa is the gatekeeper of Trans-Saharan trade. For centuries, the gold of West Africa has been prized across the known world. Kings in Europe and the Middle East have been obsessed with acquiring it. But the problem was how to get it. The Sahara Desert was in the way. It was a vast, inhospitable wasteland full of deadly sandstorms and even deadlier people. But around the year 1000, camel caravans started crossing the desert, connecting the North African coast to the gold mines of the south. Soon, merchants from all over the known world were using these same caravan routes to buy gold and other goods, like ivory and salt, from the south and take their place in the north. And at the center of this trade sat Mansa Musa and the city of Niani. That's why all these merchants are here today. They've come to pay Mansa Musa tribute and hopefully buy some gold. But not everyone is happy about this arrangement. The king of the neighboring kingdom of Sundai hates paying tribute to Mansa Musa. He wishes he could control the trade routes and make himself rich, like Mansa Musa. And the only thing standing in his way is Mansa Musa's army. It's the largest military force in West Africa, 60,000 strong. They're elite soldiers, the best in the region, loyal only to Mansa Musa. And right now, they're on parade. They march past the throne in perfect unison, brandishing their weapons, long spears tipped with iron, sharp as the eye of a needle and as hard as steel. Mansa Musa is impressed. His soldiers are the reason he can sit on this throne and amass such wealth. As the parade continues, Mansa Musa watches with a proud smile on his face. He loves showing off his wealth and power, not just to the merchants, but to everyone in his empire, who remind them who's in charge. After all, he's only the third ruler in the history of the Mali Empire. When he took the throne, it was poor and weak. But now it's rich and powerful, thanks to him. He looks out over his domain, over the great city of Niani, with its bustling markets and towering mosques, with scholars debating theology and jinns hiding in the walls. He sees merchants unloading camels who've just come over the dunes from the Sahara, with goods from distant lands and news of faraway places. He sees fishermen casting their nets into the nearby river, pulling in silverfish and catfish, fat with flesh. He sees farmers working the fields, growing rice and millet and corn, feeding his people. He sees craftsmen hammering away at gold, refining it into ingots. He sees them all and he knows they're all here because of him. Without Mansa Musa, there would be no order, no protection, no prosperity. Without Mansa Musa, the armies of the north would be raping and pillaging across the south. Without Mansa Musa, the trade routes would be controlled by bandits and warlords. Without Mansa Musa, the gold of West Africa would be lost to the world. But because of Mansa Musa, gold flows from the south like water from a spring, filling the coffers of kings and merchants alike. Because of Mansa Musa, the Empire of Mali is the richest in the world. Because of Mansa Musa, the king of the south has become the richest man in history. Thank you for watching.